Day out with Thomas has always been exciting for me. Getting to see your favorite Thomas and Friends characters out in the real world, getting pictures with the engines you were riding on the engines themselves, is a dream come true for an experience. However, there's one experience of mine that wasn't like you would expect. This happened at Starsburg Railroad in Pennsylvania, and it was my first time seeing the only working Thomas in America. So I got on my car with my friends. Thomas just so happened to be coming by, so we quickly got our cameras out. However, Thomas seemed to be a bit dirtier than I imagined. He was staring at me for long and a comfortable amount of time before looking away. It really didn't bother me first, so I just carried on with my day. So as we started climbing aboard the coaches, I could see Percy coming into view. Of course, being pushed by Diesel that betrayed Mayville's last Halloween. I couldn't help but Percy was saying something as his mouth was moving in a very strange way, but he looked at me in the way Thomas did, which made me think it was best to get into the carriage. The rest of his day went pretty straightforward. Nothing too weird happened. After the violence of it, I found that apparently Starsburg was hiring people to work at night cleaning up engines at the sheds. So I decided to take the job, just to figure out what exactly goes on around here at night. Because, let's face it, curiosity gets the better of me. Especially for what goes behind closed doors at some point. So I walked in the main building, I looked back and saw Thomas and Percy Marbles look at me, and then back at each other. Thomas had something on his left lower cheek. It looked like blood. When I applied for a job, two guys and a female were there too. Hoping about what I'd been experiencing. Thomas and Percy, one of the men told me, you know, I heard a rumor these engines aren't not placing at night. That made me extremely uncomfortable. The night, me and the other boys arrived at Stahlsburg's to start tidying everything up for the next day out the Thomas event. And we all had radios in case things got serious. And we gave ourselves nicknames, Jet, Cracker, and Emerald. I thought Jack was a pretty good nickname. So that's what we needed to do. I got stuck with the job of cleaning out Thomas's shed. Cracker got the job of cleaning Percy. Emerald had the job of truck inspection. Jet had security duty. As I walked out towards the shed, the creepy eeriness of the railway made me a bit sick. I've been watching some horror movies before I came here, and I started to regret eating all that liquorine. I was about to open the shed door when I could hear what sounded like a faint giggle behind me. Turned around and could see something in the shadows behind some rolling stock. Couldn't make out what it was. It looked like some green caterpillar with red stripes and glowing eyes. But then Jet called me on the radio. Jack, you might want to come and take a look what I found at the station. As I turned back to where the shadowy thing was, it disappeared. Hurried into the building, found Jet's hunched down and looking at something behind the counter. Looked over it. What it was, I regret seeing. It was a wooden railway Thomas, covered in blood, placed in a pool of blood which read, "He's a really useful engine, you know." At that moment, I heard some metal outside behind us. Looked up my flashlight only to find some blue rays by the corner of the window, followed by whistles that made me go pale. Jed and I started to flip out. Started radio and Cracker and Emerald, but the only thing that came was static. "Why didn't you get up their radio?" complained Jed. "You have to go look for him, Jack. I'll stay here in case they come into the building." I decided I had to do just that, even though I really did want to go out there. Now, I really don't like the dark. I had a bit of a difficult childhood with the dark, but being out in the dark on the closed railway, some sort of creature made feel more terrified. Feared Cracker was still in the shed where Percy was. I nervously opened the shed, and what I saw was horrifying. Emerald and Cracker were on one side of the wall. They were hung. Something else caught my eye. "All the other engines, they'll tell you so." I was written in blood on the wall, but I heard something that put me dead in my tracks. Suddenly, a light flickered on. as did a pair of glowing white eyes. It was Percy. He looked rusted up and had a scar on the beneath his left eye and another longer and huge one beneath on the right side of his mouth. It came charging towards me. I quickly started running out of the shed and slammed the door shut. I ran round the side of the shed, only to find he huffs and puffs and whistles, rustling to and fro, which was written in blood. I pulled out my radio and started to try and call Jet, but it had been damaged, so I started hurrying towards the station. Had to run across the tracks to get there, but no sooner had I walked around the shed, and the shed's doors began thumping. At first slowly, then louder and faster, as the sound of screeching wheels started sounding from the inside, followed by a scream that was blood-curdling. I hurried as fast as I can and bust open the doors to the station building. Immediately started calling 911. As I saw the lights in the distance, I turned back and saw the doors open. I whistled that was been heard. But Thomas raced by. But it wasn't the Thomas I knew. This Thomas was nothing like I'd ever seen before. His eyes looked terrifying. His right eye had a red pupil like an animatronic eye. The left side looked melted. A piece of his jaw was missing, seemed to be ripped off. What was left, other part of his jaw was scratched and banged up. And Jet's body was on his running board. It was like something out of a nightmare. Thomas stared at me through the window as he raced off into the night, whistling like a lost soul. The cops soon came a few minutes later. They were unluckily finding the bodies of Jet, Cracker, and Emerald. Also found that none of the engines had moved in the sheds. Thomas and Percy were both clean. Since that day, it's been a few months. I've been terrified to any day out with Thomas and events, and the police just began going insane. But no one saw it. It was not a thing I'd like to remember.